Hi, I'm Jade Willowsong, and I was having this feeling today that I wanted to do a video about the difference between anxiety and excitement, because I've been noticing lately that feeling in my stomach and my solar plexus isn't always what I initially think it is. Okay, and I thought it might be easier to talk about it than it would be to write about it. So let's see how this goes. I grew up really anxious. I was in a household where I was never sure what I was going to come home to after school, and that created anxiety for me. Anxiety meaning it is thoughts of the future that are unpleasant. Right? We don't have anxiety about pleasant things. We have anxiety about something unpleasant happening in the future. It's not in this present moment, it's yet to come. And I lived with that anxiety because every minute there could be a change. So I had every day of my life this feeling in the pit of my stomach, in my solar plexus. I was picking up on the anxiety of others and creating my own. And so I got accustomed to labeling that feeling in my stomach as anxiety, and to understand it to mean something unpleasant was going to happen. I based that on my experience that I had that feeling, unpleasant things happened, and therefore they were connected, and that's really not the truth. The truth is those are two completely separate things. What happens and how I feel about what happens or might happen are not related at all. They're not cause and effect. This is not an indicator of that. My feeling is not an indicator of what will happen in the future. So when I was probably in my 20s, late 20s, early 30s, when one day I realized that feeling in my solar plexus wasn't there. And I thought, what's missing? What am I forgetting? What am I forgetting to worry about? That was the actual thought that went on in my head. What am I forgetting to worry about? And so I worried about what I was forgetting. And I don't know how long I lived with that before I got accustomed to the feeling being gone and that being normal. But it occurred to me then that they were not related, right? Because then unpleasant things would happen, and I had not had that moment. So there was nothing to predict that for me. So that was something that went into my experience bank, right? My empirical knowledge bank. But it was even more recently that I've become aware that feeling in your stomach is you not being in the present moment, me not being in the present moment, and ascribing expectations. And it's those expectations that have me label it anxiety or excitement, or anxiety and nervous excitement. Nothing else. It's my expectation of the moment. And if I'm having expectations, then I have an attachment, and I'm not really in the present moment, because the present moment is not anxiety inducing, right? There's nothing going on right now. You know, this moment is this moment. It's face value. It's showing me what it is. There's no hidden secrets. It just is right here in front of me. It's what's in the next moment that gives me anxiety, because I'm preparing myself for something bad, and you can't prepare yourself for something that you don't know is there. And then I thought, well, why? This is supposed to be a good thing, or this could end up being a good thing. Why am I feeling anxiety about it? So I sat with it a while, and I realized it's not anxiety and excitement. Those are my labels. That's what I decide to call it. Those are the thoughts I have around it, and I control my thoughts. I do that. And so I can choose, instead of when I experience that feeling, I can choose to think that's anxiety and think anxiety related thoughts, or I can choose to think it's excitement and think excitement thoughts. What possibilities that moment has, that energy, that anticipation. That's all it is. It's anticipation that's I feel in my body. And so when I'm anticipating a future moment, that's my moment of power. It hasn't happened yet. So if I throw high vibration thoughts at it, I mean positive outcomes, then I have a better chance of getting that positive outcome than I do if I fill that moment then with anxiety riddled thoughts and which is low vibration, right? So that moment that you experience that butterfly in your stomach and you're choosing, you're gonna make that choice between anxiety and excitement. Choose excitement, even if everything about you says that this is not going to be a happy thing that happens. Choose excitement anyway. Choose it anyway, because you improve the quality of the moment that you're in, but you're also going to improve the quality of the experience yet to come. And so that is my take on anxiety and excitement. Not being something that we necessarily have understood it to be. And I love that. I love unlearning stuff and seeing it in a completely different light. You know, this must be, sometimes I feel like a philosophical scientist, right? Because I'm tearing things down to their basic, bare components. And I'm seeing a whole universe in the simplest one little cell. And then I have so much more power than I do when I feel like I'm overwhelmed with all of these rules and expectations that I'm supposed to fulfill, or ways I'm supposed to live my life or think about things that don't feel true to me and that do indeed cause me anxiety because I'm not being myself, I'm not being authentic. So I hope that this really resonates with someone besides myself, because it's really so fun now. I'm just doing all these experiments on focusing on future events and playing with the difference between anxiety and excitement and seeing how much control I never knew I had. And I was exerting it, of course, because I put the energy into it. So I was absolutely controlling my future. But it's like driving your car, blindfolded. I'm totally in control of this car, and yet I have no control because I don't have a vision. And now that vision is becoming so clear, and I'm so excited to share it with everyone else. All right, I will see you in the next video when I show up.